Hello again, and for today, I'm going to be following up one of my most popular older videos, Why I Hate Boomers, with another video on the boomers. So, there are a couple of arguments that I felt I didn't really get to in the last boomer video, and I'm going to try and address some of them here. So, I'm going to just jump right into it. My first point is that the real reason why the boomer generation and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race is that the boomers have had such a long lifespan as compared to previous generations. You know, they did not have a conflict that essentially wiped out most of the generation. And so being the most populous older generation has certainly gone to their head and made them think that they were the smartest, they were the strongest, they were the most superior. And they really aren't. But again, you have to notice the fact that these boomers aren't really going the way older generations have. They have really reaped the benefits of modernity to the point where they're living longer than previous generations overall. And yeah, that not really advocating for boomers to die, but I'm just noticing that boomers did not die off the way that the greatest generation did or the silent generation did. And it is because they have, again, reaped the benefits of modernity, haven't had a major, not cultural, definitely physical conflict. And so we're going to have to suffer boomers until their time peacefully comes up. So that is really that is like the big thing that I noticed from the last commentary that I didn't cover. And the second one, and this will be also addressed in another video coming out sooner, is that boomers are cringe and they ruin everything. You know, every time there's some new meme that's like really hard hitting and cutting edge, they just beat it into the ground. You know? The Karen meme, I think, is like the most recent boomer meme that, or most recently converted into a boomer meme that was not a boomer meme, barely like a couple weeks ago. If you want to call a woman something equivalent to a Karen, call them an awful, which is an affluent white female liberal. And the reason why I state this is because it is shockingly more accurate than just calling them a Karen. It really just drives home the whole fucking mystique of what a Karen really is, which is an affluent female white liberal. And again, it's not being used by boomers. So remember that the boomer will ruin everything if you let them take advantage of it. And if they take advantage of it, it's not fucking cool anymore. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're going around online memeing, because the boomers will ruin memes right before your fucking eyes. And it's not cool. So there's a third point directly tied to boomers that I want to go over, and that boomers really rely on their routine. I've only really noticed this because of the current pandemic, the current global situation that we're all facing with the Wuhan coronavirus. But the boomer really can't fucking get it together that like things are different, and I can't just, stage a meeting. I can't just fucking, go outside and play golf. I can't just get on my yacht. It's like, well, yeah, this is the world that you created now. The boomers are essentially responsible for a lot of the world's ills, except for, in this case, the pandemic. The pandemic is clearly caused by that biolab in Wuhan, China. But, again, the disruption in the routine of the boomer is sending boomers into a fucking tizzy. And so you just got to be mindful of your surroundings when you're nearby boomers. They're really affected by this. Boomers most affected. And, yeah, that's all I really got to say on boomers overall. So this next point is essentially debunking the idea of the young boomer, which is also what I would call the boomer mindset, which really applies to people who are younger than boomers, but think, act, and behave like boomers. And they do this because they view older generations as smarter, and so they value the life lessons of the boomer. But again, boomers fucking ruined everything. Like, you could just look back into history of the 1950s and beyond and realize that, like, oh wow, America was like really fucking great. And it doesn't matter what your race is. It matters the fact that if these numbers of immigration were maintained, we could have had all the benefits that the boomers had. And because the boomers essentially were like, yeah, let's let in the Hart-Celler Immigration Act, let's just open the fucking borders. Let's just have unvetted immigration because the GDP needs to go up 3 points this year. Essentially, this is the world, again, that boomers have created. And so people who want to propagate the values and ideas and beliefs of the boomer need to be debunked at every fucking point that they rear their ugly heads. So, be aware online if you spot someone who's young who makes arguments like a boomer that they need to be course corrected, because essentially they are propagating the failures of their parents' generation. And that must be completely quelled. So, here's a white pill for the final point. Will the boomers reign supreme? No. And the real reason why I think this is because there are more people like myself and other contemporaries of my nature that really understand that the boomer generation and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. And when I say that meme, that Nicholas J. Fuentes meme, I really believe it. And I think a lot of other people believe it too, because again, they're looking back into the history of the world and realizing that, oh yeah, it just seems like right as the boomer generation became adults, things just fucking took a nosedive. It's like, yeah, let's take our family home and, sell it on the market so that we can go buy an RV and travel around the country, because that's what I wanted to do when I was smoking pot in college. Again, this boomer worldview of fuck you, or fuck my country, fuck my neighborhood. I just am looking out for number one. Really didn't work. It really didn't work. And I say this as someone who is quite an individualist. It's like the boomer version of individualism really failed a lot of people in this country. And until lots of older people either die off or realize the fact that they fuck things up for future generations, we're not going to solve any problems. So how are we really going to stop the boomers? Very simple. Mock the boomer online. Disavow the boomer's actions. And reclaim their retirement benefits as your own by not paying into the system. Some of this shit might be completely unrealistic, but you can at least mock a boomer online and they will fucking get mad about it to the point where some of them just rage quit, because it's like, what can I do? They're calling me the new N-word. It's like, dude, get a grip. You're a boomer and a lot of things are your fault. So just be cognizant of the boomer wherever you go online. There are a lot of them. They really need to get off. And a lot of them really need to retire too. I will say that. If your parents are boomers and you are in a financial situation that's very stable, push them to retire so that way they are not being a burden on your fellow citizens. So, in conclusion, to the boomer generation who really did fuck up a lot of shit, well, you better tread lightly, because the Grim Reaper's coming for you next. Hello again, and I have very exciting news. I just found out on May 20th, 2020 that I have a paid subscriber, and so as a result of getting said paid subscriber, they personally get a shout out. So shout out to Waterfall Person at the $5 level for contributing to this channel, and I hope you hear this in all videos from here on out until there are more subscribers rolling in through Subscribestar. So thank you again.